Hello everyone, I am Dr. RMD and this is episode 3 of NEET PG 2026 series, and today we will be discussing how to score more than 150 correct in GTs. If you haven't watched first and second episode, kindly do watch because it is closely related to prior two episodes. So there are two problems when you give GTs, and this is why you won't get more than 150 correct. First problem is problem with studying. You don't know what to study and how to study so that you can get more correct answers. And second is there are minor problems during attempting GT which actually causes negative marks. So if you ask me what is the easiest technique to increase GT scores, I would say, if you see in my episode 2, I had discussed how many questions come from each subject wise. Okay, so if you see in this, biochemistry, pathology, micro, pharmac, pediatrics, surgery, OBG and PSM. These 8 subjects are equal to 60% of total syllabus. I had discussed regarding this in detail in episode 2. Now I am not going to discuss further regarding it. So these 8 subjects constitute 60% of GT questions. That's why reason number 1 is why your scores are not improving, because you are focusing less on these 8 subjects. Remember these 8 subjects. Okay, this is the first reason. Now how will you tell that your GT scores are increasing or decreasing? Like sometimes it might increase to more than 20 and next time it might decrease to -5 or -10 correct answers. Sometimes your rank will be 7,000, sometimes your rank will be 20,000. So how can you properly track your GT scores? Is rank a better option, or is percentile a better option, or is total GT score a better option? I would say none of the above 3. That is because rank depends on how many students give GT. If only 20,000 students give GT, 1300 rank doesn't mean a good rank. If 1 lakh students give GT, especially in mocks and all, mock test many students give. So in that, if you get 5,000, it's really a very good rank. So rank is not a good marker. Second is percentile, but percentile is same as rank. It only tells your performance with respect to others' performance. It doesn't tell you how much your performance is better than your previous performance. What about total GT score? Total GT score doesn't tell you are skipped and wrong how many can be mistaken. Because for example, you see this example. If you have got 120 correct and 80 wrong, your score is 400. But if you have got 110 correct and 40 wrong and 50 skipped, then also your score is 400. So which if among these two is better? I would say the second one is better, because in second one you at least attempted. Okay, you attempted but you got less. The first one is better because here you attempted all questions and you have 0 skipped. Whenever there are skipped, it is very bad. Okay, regarding this skipped questions, I will discuss in my next video, that is episode 4, where I will be telling you how to review GT. Okay, so always skipped means bad. If you have attempted everything, then it is still better. Now your only job is to convert this wrong into right. Detail regarding this I had discussed in episode 1. So more correct answer and less skip means your GT is going in the right direction. So the best parameter to check your GT progress is total number of correct answers, and to be in a safer zone, your total number of correct answers should be more than 150. Details regarding this also I have discussed in my episode 1. So what is progress in GT? Progress in GT means increase in number of correct responses by more than 10 in 3 consecutive GTs. Okay, in 3 consecutive GTs your responses are going more than 10. Okay, clubbed 3 GTs. Okay, then that means you are going in the right direction. What is static GT? Static means correct responses do not increase by more than 10 in 3 consecutive GTs. Okay, so each GT there can be variation, but even after 3 GTs, your GT score, like initially it was 120, then it became 118, now it is 121. Even after 3 GTs, your GT scores are not improving. That means that your GT is static. But let's say that your GT scores are static, but still you are studying, but still it is not improving. Then what is the cause? The cause is something known as plateau phase. Okay, plateau phase. Now if I ask you, how does a GT curve look like, which means if you put more effort, then how will your performance be in a GT? Okay, is it graph number A, graph number B, graph number C, or graph number D? The correct answer is graph number D, which means in GT it is a type of complex learning curve. What does complex learning curve means? See, complex learning curve means, I'll just show you this, okay. So initially you will have slow learning where if you solve PYQs, if I solve PYTs, and if you do revision videos, your number of correct answers will increase gradually. You might be at 80, it will quickly come up to 120. But what happens after 120 is you will enter into a phase known as plateau phase, where your score won't improve. It will stay there for a long time. After you have mastered your Qbank important modules and important tables and you have cleared all your concepts, only then you will see that it will go up to 160 and more than 160. Got my point? This is the normal curve for everyone. It was for me also. I will show you my GT curve. Okay. So this is a type of complex learning curve. So reason 2 why your GT scores are not improving, because you are in your plateau phase. Now this plateau phase can go up to 3 months, sometimes even up to 6 months. So what you need to do in this time is you should not stop giving GTs, because if you quit, then definitely you won't go up again. Okay, plateau phase will last a little bit longer. If don't quit, you are on the right track. Be patient. Don't stop giving GTs, because here everyone makes mistake. Everyone stops giving GT. Now why does everyone stop giving GT? Because it's like this, like it is your psychology. You think that GT is a testing tool. No, it is a learning tool. What is the difference between a testing tool and a learning tool? Testing tool means it will not give you anything in return. It will just tell you how much you have studied, this much you have studied. GT is not like that. GT means if you have studied something, you still have an extra opportunity to study something else. That is what GT is. Okay. Now what happens as soon as you get something less, some like rank is less, let's say initially you got 121 correct, then you went up to 137 correct. Now next you got 135 correct. Okay. Now you don't want to give next GT. Why? Because you are afraid that your number of correct will come to 127. You are afraid, and this fear of failure is known as atychiphobia. This atychiphobia is the only reason why many people quit giving GTs in the plateau phase. So what you should do? You should continue giving GTs. Convince yourself that you are in the plateau phase and tell, okay, now we are in plateau phase, no issues, let's try something. Now what you should try? What extra can you do during this plateau phase so that you get more number of correct answers? That is the most important is revise pearls or treasures or 20th notebook before giving GT. What does this mean? See, now you have given GT today. The most important part of a GT is reviewing GT, and this I will discuss in episode 4. If you don't review GT, better don't give GT. So if you review GT and then during reviewing GT you come across important PYQs or important questions, you just bookmark them. And these bookmarked questions should be revised before giving every GT. Got my point? Suppose you are giving GT on 27th, that means on 27th or on 26th night or on 27th before 1 or 2 hours before giving GT, you have to revise your bookmarked pearls. Only then your number of correct answers, your score in GT will improve compared to previous GT, or else it won't. Now what is the advantage of this? If you do this for one GT and keep on repeating this for every GT, at the end of your 4-5 months of your preparation phase, you would have reviewed almost all pearls that you have bookmarked, or else whatever you have bookmarked will remain like that only. And this also serves as a backup plan before NEET PG, because just imagine that suppose you didn't give a GT, you didn't bookmark pearls and you don't feel like reading notes before NEET PG, you are doomed, you are done, you can't do anything. But if you have bookmarked pearls and you were revising it regularly, then even before NEET PG, before 2 days, even if you revise that will be more than enough. Got my point? So reason 3 why your GT score doesn't improve is because you are not revising that bookmarked pearls, or you are not revising that 20th notebook where you had written all your mistakes that you committed during GT. Okay, so when I talk to people over like Telegram or during my mentorship sessions or everything, I get one important question that I am reading BTR, I am reading rapid revision videos, I am watching RR videos, I am reading RR notes, but still my responses doesn't go above 120. Why? I'll tell you, responses will never go above 120 if you read only BTR and RR, because they are just revision sources, they are nothing else. So if you take a overall idea, see if this is the total NEET PG question that are going to be asked, okay, This will be the content from main notes and this will be the content from Qbank, and you'll notice that this NEET PG questions or GT questions will cover will have 90% questions which are given in main notes and Qbank. So if you read main notes and Qbank, definitely your rank is going to be high, but the problem is time. You don't have that much time and you don't have that much IQ. Now what will happen is, in revision videos and in BTR, what happens is it doesn't has all the questions from NEET PG or GT questions. It will have just around like 40 to 50%. That's why you will only get up to 120 correct. Got my point? Now what you can do in addition to this, okay, similarly whenever you are get, some of them will tell that I'll give 50 GTs, I will give 50 GTs, then I'll definitely get a very good rank in NEET PG. It doesn't hold true for everyone. That is because, see, this is one GT. From this GT maybe no questions came for NEET PG. From second GT only these many questions came. Third GT only these many questions came. Fourth GT only this much. If it is a record GT, maybe some more questions will come. You have to do many GTs to get to this whole core, okay, only then you will be able to answer well in NEET PG. But we can have a shortcut method for this also, and the shortcut method is this NEET PG pyramid. If you have watched my episode 1 and 2, I had clearly discussed that if you want to get up to 120, you have to go through PYQs, PYTs and one rapid revision source or BTR. This much is definitely required. Without this, you can't go up to 120. Now, if you want to go above 120, you have to do Qbank and Pearls or important tables. Now, you can't do everything because there are around 23,000 MCQs. So, what I did was, I created a PDF where you will have only important Qbank modules and important tables list. Okay, this is the list of topics. This is not the tables and modules as such. This is a list of topics. So, for example, in psychiatry, you need to go through only 5 Qbank modules. You don't have to go to 20 Qbank modules. Similarly, in pharmacology, you need to go through only 12 Qbank modules, not more than that. Okay. So, there is a list which if you do, okay, there is a higher chance that you will get to this 150 very quickly. Okay. So, these are some smart strategies. If you want the link of this PDF, it is in the comment section. Okay, so now next question comes is how to divide subjects in GTs. So GTs, when you plot GTs and when you are reviewing GTs, you should have these 3 subjects in your mind: rank building, rank maintaining and rank deciding. What are these 3 subjects? I have discussed detailing in episode 1. Okay, so when you plot these subjects in GT tracker, now what is GT tracker? GT tracker is an Excel file which I have developed that will tell you exactly what it is. Okay, how to plot. Now how to plot in GT tracker? Where will you get? First of all, this file you will get in my Telegram channel and you will get in my WhatsApp channel. Okay, link of all this is given in the YouTube description and in my comment section also. Okay, so let's say today you gave a GT and let's say in anatomy there were total 10 questions. Okay, so 10 questions means how much marks? Maximum marks is 40. Okay, so let's say you got 8 correct and you got 2 you skipped. Okay, 2 skipped and 8 correct. So what will be your total score? Your total score will be 32 divided by 40, that's equal to 80%. So when you plot this 80, just write 80 in this like cell, okay, in this particular column, and when you skip to the next column, this automatically will turn green. Okay, this will turn green. As you can see here, it will turn green. Okay, whereas if you get only like 62%, this will be yellow. Now what is the difference? Why I am telling you all this? That is because not all subjects require equal importance in a GT. For example, rank building subjects, okay, if you want to get into green zone, you need to just go above 75% in each subject. Got my point? More than 75% is enough. But for rank maintaining subjects, you need to get at least 65%, which means here you see surgery I got 69, which means I am already in green zone in surgery. That means I don't have to go ahead in surgery. My surgery studying is enough. 69% is more than enough. But again, in rank deciding, what happens? In rank deciding, you have to get more than 80%. You see here, anesthesia is 67, okay, but still it is not in the green zone, it is in yellow zone. So when I plotted my GT marks in 2022, at that time the subjects were different. Okay, like now I have changed ophthalm and ENT and forensic I have interchanged. That is because it has gained more importance in last 2 to 3 years. All this I have discussed in my episode 2, that is on PYQs. I have discussed how forensic is gaining more importance and ophthalm and ENT importance is decreasing. Okay, so now you will see here that, for example, my PSM, okay, my PSM was in red, that is 42%. Then again in third JT it was only 25. Now I realized something should be done for this, okay. So what I did, I just did something important. What I did first PYQs, okay, I did PYTs. I didn't have time to go to revision videos because I had done this during my like internship, okay. Then I went through only 2 topics from revision videos. One is biostats and second is epidemiology, okay. And then what I did Qbank of 4 or 5 modules only, okay, important Qbank modules, okay. And then I saw my score suddenly jumped to 60, 68, and in my last GT it came up to 76. Nothing, simple changes, minor changes, I got it. This is called smart preparation, okay. Similar was the case with ortho. See, it was at 14%, 33%, 33%. I did some minor modification. I realized that in ortho only 4 or 5 Qbank modules are very important, okay. I only studied those. I did all PYQs, PYTs, and I bookmarked important pearls, and then my ranks jumped up to 83%. Got my point? So this GT tracker will tell you which subject to focus upon and how much to focus. That is very important, because even if you do medicine up to like 90% also, you will be wasting 4 or 5 months, but your output will be limited only, okay. Detailed analysis on this, watch in episode 1, okay. So what does GT tracker do? It will tell you, one is which subject needs more attention and which subject you have to gain mastery. For example, these subjects, you see, these you have to be master, because if you want to be in green zone, you have to come more than 80%. Got my point? Why is that so? Go watch episode 1. Now, reason for why your GT score is not improving, because you don't know which is your strongest and weakest subject, and you don't know where you should focus on. Got my point? Now this GT tracker should be your motivation to study. There can be minor ups and downs, but you see overall picture in my GT tracker when I was preparing. Initially there were so many reds and so many yellows, but gradually I converted, after some 7 to 8 GTs, I gradually converted all these yellows and reds into greens. Got my point? Okay. So next important thing is, this was my GT curve, okay. Initially I was at 68 percentile. I had got, I think, some 107, correct. I was at 107. This was in August 2021. This is mine only, okay. And then by the time I had reached like a NEET mock, that was in April, okay. So how much time? Some 6 months, okay, 6 months time, 6 to 7 months time, okay. And in 7 months time I had reached 92.8. this was 155, correct, 155. From 107 I reached to 155 by just doing some smart tips. That is what I want to tell you. So regular GTs, you have to not stop giving GTs. One GT every 10 days, one GT you have to give, and you have to review. How to review, I will tell you in next episode. So you will get to know commonly asked questions when you solve GTs. So when you revise, it will be easy for you to revise also. So it will do something known as spaced repetition, okay. You don't need to have any Excel file, you don't need to have any timetable to tell you that, okay, now you need to revise this and all. If you do regular GTs and review them, that itself is a spaced repetition. Believe me, people who have done 10 plus GTs are always in a better position, okay. Next, time management. First thing is, try experiment. Now is the right time to experiment. So what you can do is start with, like, okay, this was earlier, okay. So start with like middle of the GT. Don't go from question number 1 to question number 45, sorry, 42, right? Okay, 42. Don't go like this, okay. Sorry, question number 40, okay. Start with question number 30 and then you start solving rest of the questions, so that it becomes little bit easy for you. I'll tell you in GT reviewing how this all works, okay. Third thing is bookmark, which you should bookmark, okay. So reason why your GT scores don't improve is because you don't give regular GTs because of performance anxiety. I told no, phobia should be avoided, okay. Phobia should be avoided. So golden rule is, unless you give regular GTs, you won't perform well in exam. Take it from me, how much ever fear you have to overcome it. You have to give GTs. It is not like you keep GTs, you will think that once I will finish all revision videos, once I will finish all PYQs, then I will give GTs. Believe me, you will be preparing for NEET PG 2027. 2026 is already out of your hand, okay. So start giving GTs now itself. Next, what are the, see, I told first part is regarding what are the things that you commit mistake while you studying, that's why you don't get good marks. And second was when you attempt GT, what are the mistakes you can make. Okay, these are known as human errors which are preventable. For example, not reading question fully, just saw first part of the question, options, directly ticked and went wrong. Next is not reading all options, again a big mistake. That fixating only on one question for 2 to 3 minutes, you are gone out of the race. Not looking at how much time is left during GT, again gone. Reviewing one liners, there is no point in reviewing one liners. One liners are intuition based, which means you see once, you decide the answer, you don't come back and review one liners. Okay, you shouldn't review one liners because one liners are always intuition based. Whatever you see first option, just mark it and go, but read all the options. No enough sleep before giving GT or before giving NEET PG exam, and not clicking on guess. Like in marrow there is an option called guess, so you'll know what is your prediction rate. Okay, next, 80% of the students score less in GTs because they make these mistakes. Rest 20% will actually need help. That's why I came up with something known as one-to-one NEET PG INICT guidance, because some people your situation will be complicated, you won't be knowing what exactly you want. Okay, like you will be studying from one source and then you will be doing Qbank of other source, and your preparation will be messed up. For those people, I have introduced one-to-one INICT guidance session, which means like you can directly talk to me like a consultation for 15 minutes. Okay, for 15 minutes you can talk to me, and then you should book slots. Okay, so this slot starts from 24th November. It will be present on all weekdays. Okay, and like there are around 6 slots per day. So these 15-minute slots you can directly talk to me over Google Meet. Okay, link is in the description. It is also there on Instagram bio and on Telegram channel and WhatsApp channel. Okay, next, you can reach out to me on all these platforms. Okay, now one-to-one consultation has also started. So one more thing, this one-to-one consultation is not for NEET PG counseling. Okay, earlier I was doing for counseling, but right now since counseling has started, now I am limiting to only NEET PG 2026. Okay, and even if you want 2027 also I can give. Okay, next, so this was the episode 3rd. So we have completed 3 episodes. We have many more episodes coming on. Next episode will be on GT review. Till then, all the best.